Welcome back to another episode of the Eat Well, Be Well Nutrition Podcast. I'm Hannah Grunwald, a registered dietitian from Meridian, and I have a special guest with me today, Jennifer Rojas from our Community Affairs Department. Hi, Jennifer.
Hola, ¿cómo estás, Hannah?
I'm great. Tell me a little bit about your role. What do you do in our Community Affairs Department?
Definitely. I am a senior community outreach coordinator, and we bring information and resources statewide to our communities, all the communities that we serve.
Yeah, and we are talking all about information today, nutrition information, how it's changed over time, how it changes really rapidly, and just, oh my gosh, how much nutrition information there is. That can be quite overwhelming. What's your experience been with that? Just, walk me through that.
Nutrition is, food is something that we bring to a lot of our communities through our Food on the Move, farmers markets. So I'm so glad we're talking about this because there is a lot of information out there and knowing what to trust and what not is difficult. So super glad.
Yeah, and you've got experience with that with your family and your culture. And then do you also see that or hear about that from members too? Just wanting to know, what do I do?
Yes, because now it's like, all over the place. We have a lot of information on social media, which is, I think, the biggest part of it, where our parents, let me tell you, for me, is my dad. I'm always trying to know what he's into because all the time he's watching things on social media and then he brings they said that onions are good for you. And without you knowing, we're all eating onions at our house.
Onions at every meal.
Yes, and he's having smoothies of onions and things of onions. I'm telling you, it's horrible. But trying to know what is good and where we can plug that information, it will be super helpful.
Yeah. Well, let's first start talking about when you were younger. A couple, when we think generationally and culturally, what was nutrition information or advice like? What were you told from parents or grandparents when you were a child?
Let me tell you, for us, I'm from the Caribbean. So for me, it was just having something to eat, basically. In the mornings, we could just have chocolate and bread to go to school. And then in the afternoon, we could just have spaghettis and bread. Or spaghettis and tostones, which is fried plantain. Mm-hmm. And that was it until, night. So we didn't thought much about are we having enough proteins? Are we having fruits? It was what we have is what we eat and that's it. And you have to eat it all. So we didn't think about that much. Now, I feel super bad when my kids go to school with only cereal and milk.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then I'm all guilty, oh my God, I'm such a bad mom. Dios mío, why did I do that?
So much pressure.
It is a lot of stress.
Yeah, well, I can help with some of that stress and pressure because you fed your kids, you got them out the door. That was a great start to the day. And that's always step one. And even growing up when you had bread and chocolate for breakfast, we can still do that. We can still have these enjoyable, lovely, easy things like milk and cereal. Maybe we're picking now a higher protein or a higher fiber cereal that fuels them a little bit longer because we also live and move differently than we did generations ago. And we have different access to food. And for some people, we might not even have a lot of choice of what foods we have access to if it's coming from a food pantry or a support system like that. So start with what you have, which is great. Your kids are eating cereal. You got something in them.
At least, right?
And then when we have the time and space and resources, we could add, some breakfast sausage, or we could add some fruit or make some adjustments there, but we don't have to change everything we're doing.
And that is so good to know, Hannah, let me tell you, because it is very stressful during the week. We don't have time. Sometimes we don't have access to food. And that's why, we try to connect our members and our communities to food when we do these events, because it's hard. and knowing that we can play a little bit on not feeling that guilty after you give them something simple, it is so amazing.
And really, that's what can help us move closer to health, because I watched your body too when you were talking. You said, yes. I feel guilty, I feel pressure.
I do.
And then I said, but you're feeding them, you're taking care of them, and yes. Your body relaxed, and that's what health is. That's how we can move closer to health. Your blood pressure, your heart rate slowed. It feels better when we feel more confident and comfortable in how we're feeding ourselves, which is always amazing. Now, you said that members will sometimes say there's so much information, even your dad on social media with the onions. There's so much information coming in, it can be hard to sort through. What's that like for you?
There is so much information, and when our members or our communities come to our events and they talk to us, we try to connect them to good resources, and try to give them information that they can take to their houses, because sometimes you just don't have access, or like the appointments with your doctors are like a month later. Mm-hmm. They're not like for today or tomorrow. Right. And I'm trying to ask them like, okay, is onions really good for you?
An onion smoothie.
Yes. And then by the time that I have the appointment with my dad to tell him like, that's not the only thing for your diabetes, I'm already eating carrots. So it's difficult. Sometimes they don't have that availability, our providers. And sometimes we don't have like a nutritionist or a dietitian that can tell us what we need to eat, or to tell us, do we need to be bringing or connecting nutrition with something else, depending on the stage that you are or what disease you have. So it's difficult, and it's a lot of information, Hannah.
It is a lot, and it can sometimes feel like I just want one answer, or I want something easy. I saw someone on social media, they're really likable, they're easy to listen to, and they told me onions are going to help my diabetes, for example. Mm-hmm. That feels easy, like I could do that, but health is so much more than that. Yeah, sure, you can have onions, but balance it out. What else is happening on your plate? How are you taking care of your exercise or movement? Are you checking your lab values? Do you have a doctor's appointment? So there's all of these other different pieces. And in general, when we look at nutrition information, because there's so much of it all the time, if it feels like kind of too good to be true, or like, oh, it's just this one thing that will solve it, it probably is too good to be true, right? So we want to make sure it's coming from a resource that has a medical or a health or nutrition background. And we also want to make sure that it lines up with what my doctor is telling me or my provider, because they're going to know more about my specific disease or condition, or how I live and what I have access to, mm-hmm. so that I can make the best choices. Whereas the person on social media is just trying to get more views.
Right? Uh-huh. And then having my dad eating onions for a whole month.
We got to get your dad on the podcast.
Yes, we have to. We need this information out, because it's very difficult for our communities. And believe me, our seniors are now entering this social media world, and it's like, oh, I have so much information now.
Yeah.
And it's not only them, but also us, also our kids. Like my kids can tell me like, oh, mommy, look at this. They're telling me to eat more donuts. No, you're not eating that.
We space it out. Yes. Donut on Saturday.
No
let's have some fruit with it. That totally works. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining today. Tell me, where can our members go if they're looking for information on community events that you might be at?
Definitely. We are statewide. Our calendar of events is posted in our website, ilmeridian.com. So please check it out, and come and visit us. Talk to us. We want to know from you. The events are open to the community. So we encourage our members to come. That way we can help them navigate and, and understand their benefits. Also, we have a lot of information, and we can connect them to different resources. So please come out.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer, for coming, chatting with me.
Thanks to you.
Jennifer and I are at events. If you see us, come say hi, talk to us. We want to see you and get to know you and help you figure out what benefits and resources are available. You can also connect with me through our email address, eatwellbewell@mhplan.com. That's a great resource for you to reach out and say, hey, I heard about onions and diabetes. Is that the direction I should be headed? I can point you in the right direction, give you some education, information, materials, and send you on your way. Stay tuned for more nutrition episodes to come. Until next time, be well.